I have an overlord. I don't agree with my overlord, and it's more than that. I don't agree with my whole life. I don't know the God who is creating alive of the formed world, alive of everybody who's not myself, alive of 45 years of the meters of charges for food and shelter. How do you pay for your own shelter? I don't think I should have to answer that question because I was born in my house. Yeah. I was born in my own house. That's my overlord again. Say it, my house, like you're black. Charles Toh said on November 17th, year 2001, I'm at the McDonald's with 40 pounds of food I picked up at a Asian grocery store, Asian market. Okay, Asian market. I want you to pick me up at 5 p.m. The next thing he said was, okay, now I'm at the McDonald's with the food from the Asian market, and it's heavy, and it's fresh, and it needs to be refrigerated, and I need you to pick me up at 12 o'clock. Right? And then I said, this was a phone call. The phone rang how many times? The phone rang once. I finished the call. The phone rang again. I finished the call. The phone rang again. And I did not pick up the call. I unplugged the phone from the phone jack in the wall. I unplugged the phone from the wall. That means if he called after that, I didn't hear the phone ring because I unplugged it. I did not drive to the place to pick him up, which he said was McDonald's, and he told me which McDonald's it was. I did not pick him up at the McDonald's at his second request, which was 12 p.m. I said no to that. Sometime between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m., I went to sleep. I took a nap. I woke up before 5 p.m., and then I said, oh, I can go pick up Charles Toh at the McDonald's. But if I was asleep, I would not have been able to say that if I had just kept sleeping. So that's right there, the God of myself, I don't know you. I'm not at the McDonald's in my world. I went to sleep and didn't wake up. And then I told him the next time I saw him at the Psi Center that I didn't pick him up because I was asleep. I don't have his phone number. I'm not calling him. So, why are we here making all these videos? Again, I told my overlord, you're trespassing in an apartment you don't own, and you have too many problems to be here. You live outside in a park, and you shut off alive if you can, or you wait for the God over yourself to shut off alive. I'm putting the pressure on that he's out in the park and he needs to shut off alive because his leverage is exhausted. Charles Toh did one more thing that was incredible to me. He dialed 911 after 21 years of living with myself, and he reported to the police that he saw me doing something he didn't pay for with money, and that he didn't want me to live there anymore in the agreement to be there with the office. And he did not call from the office. The police did not immediately leave because he didn't call from the office. He called from a cell phone, and he was in the apartment at the time they responded to the call and found him. He was in the apartment. I walked off on that point, and I reported to the police. Why didn't he just call the police when he wanted the apartment to begin with? That means he didn't call the police to get in from the office. He just called the police to put somebody out who had permission to be there from the office, and I don't live in that apartment. In that scenario, from the office, they should put me in another apartment, and they don't, and they won't. And I'm not going to help you with that. That's too much. I'm already saying too much, because what's wrong with it is he didn't call the police and report that he was about to do a crime and identify who he was angry with. Just like that. But he did that to put me out of the apartment. And it's disqualified. And I don't need to know that from the alive of myself. And yet I've still been back here from after that homeless problem that I had, which was about 11 weeks. I'm still here for since October 22nd, 2022, and now it's April of 2025. I've been here all that time. And I don't acknowledge that it's alive as the soul. The higher order, the one that just did speak, does not acknowledge that it's alive here. I don't need this talking problem, talking to the videos and wording around on texting and some writing. I don't need that. That's wasting time. I don't need a live that way. It won't help. You still don't have it solved that Charles Toh is not here. You don't have it solved that he called me from the McDonald's and that you just removed him from the McDonald's or locked him in there or he's shunning somewhere. If Hans and Donna can shun, why can't Charles Toh, the major disaster sex offender, he couldn't be shunning after 5 o'clock on November 17, 2001? You don't know how to shun somebody when you have a problem. You know how to cry my head and I don't care. Oh yes, you cried my head that Charles Toh was raping me over and over and over again between November 18th, 2001 and about the time Barack Obama was in the election to run for his first term for president. That's when Dreamweaver was dreaming about Barack Obama, that I knew him before I met Charles Toh, and that was a small message in the dream that I told Charles Toh about that, and he threatened to have sex with me again over the dream. And I said, wait a minute, because I'm dreaming. I can't do two problems at once. Charles Toh thinks I asked him not to have sex with me after that. He never asked me again, and I never asked him not to hurt me. I'm meaner than you are is true already. He did stop, and I'm not giving Barack Obama any credit for that. Barack Obama didn't come around with his, what is it, when he was elected already? It's the procession of all the cars. Hail to the chief. Come and get Charles Toh and put him in the Lincoln bedroom since you won't let me in there. I want the God who's creating myself to say that Charles Toh had a problem with his God in the McDonald's on November 17, 2001 was due to be solved elsewhere. He finally had a problem that was elsewhere. Finally, I don't know you, OverLord. What is finally? You're such a liar. Oh, my OverLord is going to be executed. I am talking to the God who's created. What is an OverLord? Who are you and what are you doing? And why don't you agree with me? And you're talking right in my mouth. No wonder the sex offender puts his tongue in my mouth. You're a liar. You need to be fucking every boyfriend in this world is not true. I am alive. I don't need a psychiatrist for that problem. A psychiatrist would be somebody who's not in any door locking. It would be one person. There's no such thing as there would be more than one psychiatrist. I have been seeing psychiatrists since the year 2005, and that's because they're just harassment, and you're making excuses that you're over me. And you think that I lost my house to God, and you're going to talk to me about myself. That is how that happened. So what? Charles Toh had a problem at the McDonald's on November 17, 2001. I am not here, and you still talk to me about myself with no keys, like that's never been done before.